Fine.
Go.
Good morning, good morning? Not really good morning, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, it's good afternoon, I believe so.
Afternoon, anybody?
So today we have the guests been here before, right?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. So I think you should say your names again for the people who were not here for the last time, and you should
Oh,
be
yeah.
anyways. We go start from this side.
Okay, my name is Grace, and yeah, I'm a child of God.
Hallelujah.
Bars,
Yes.
bars. Madame.
My name is Mimi Esther Bujekera, and
Okay.
this is my second time here.
Thank you.
And
Hi, I'm Steph, Coach Steph. I'm co-hosting, and
my pastor, I'm David.
I have so many titles. Lord, please call me Steph, Coach Steph.
Anyway, so today we have a special topic. One which is really deeply to all of us, I believe. So,
Oh yeah,
so the topic is
traumatized kids.
Relax. So the topic is growing up in an African home, which is very, very deep topic, eh?
Yes.
Very deep.
It shall
Anyway.
be sure.
Very sensitive topic.
So my first question goes for all of you guys. So, what's your experience being raised up in an African home? Start from the side.
My experience. How much time you have?
Well, not that much.
Briefly, briefly.
So my experience was good. I'm a last born
Oh,
of and the only girl of four older brothers.
Lucky.
So daddy's little girl and mom's little girl. I got the family, so it was good.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
got a good experience.
Wow.
She said it was good, guys.
Okay,
Awesome.
mommy.
mommy over here. What was your experience?
Well,
Oh God, she coughing.
Keep it brief, eh? Brief.
yeah, very brief. So I am the oldest of my family,
Oh, been there.
and I am the first grandchild of my family.
Wow, so much
So-
responsibility.
So the responsibility is a big deal. I carry a big hat. So there's a lot of responsibility in there. There's a lot of expectations in there. But overall, the experience was traumatizing and very stressful. But we're getting there.
Yes.
It's hard, but it's fun. I would definitely not change it for anything. It's worth it.
Wow.
Do we say amen?
Amen. Amen, sister.
Wow, what was the question? Growing up African, my experience?
Yes, what was your experience?
I love growing up African. I love growing up in an African household. I loved. I love. Okay,
Both.
growing up in a Christian home, the environment was mostly Christian. Growing up, people used to call me the church girl, even at school. Oh, the church girl, because when growing up, we only had three places we went to: church, school, and the library. We had a very strict dad. May his soul rest in peace. I love that man so much. If I am who I am today, is because of him, by the grace of God. And I really miss him, but God did his will. And I love my environment. As much as we had a lot of punishment as comme tout Africain, but it shaped us. It really shaped us and made us who we are today. You know that. But most of the time, the thing is, sometimes you were punished more and not told why you were punished. But we grew up like that, you do something wrong, they're gonna beat me up. And we kind of, I don't know if y'all were beaten up at home. Okay.
think for
It depends on how the kid was. I was kind of a stubborn kid at home sometimes. So I had to be smacked most of the time, but I love the experience. I do have a little trauma, but how we growing up is gonna go somehow. Yeah. It won't. Yeah, there's always some memory coming back, some flashbacks, but yeah, it is what it is.
Wow. Well, my experience, I was the firstborn.
You're no longer.
I know. No, I'm still the firstborn, anyways.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was the firstborn of family. We only two, me and my sister.
Oh, okay.
So you know, I always tell my sister I paved the way. Yeah, I made the road smoother. You know, but I always say definitely it made me like when I was a kid. Of course, you know, I used to hate it, the punishment, the slaps. God damn, the slaps. But when you grow up and you see how like it formed you to just respect people, you know what I mean. So like for me, it was the best. It was the best experience right now because I can see like there's like certain things that I do, which is like taught from a young age, which is very, very, very good for me. And sometimes it's to other kids, I'm like, hey, you should go back home, you know, my friend.
Yes.
You know, America has spoiled you a lot. Anyways,
It's spoiling a lot of kids.
Yeah, so for me, growing up, it taught me a lot of things. It was fun sometimes, but you know, I hate the slaps. It was not fun anyways.
But it shaped you, right?
Yes, it's definitely second question.
All right, the second question. What's one thing you miss about your childhood? Grace.
Guys,
One thing I miss about my childhood is our family home and the way we all used to be all together in the living room. And we're just talking, jokes, and then it's 8 p.m. news, and my dad watches the news every channel. No, first of all, it was Question pour un champion at 7:30.
Oh, wow.
And then we have the news, and then just that environment, everybody's there, the whole family. I miss that so much.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Emotional.
Madame, please.
What do you miss about your childhood?
Well, the first thing I miss about my childhood is living without having any bills to worry about.
Oh God, tell me about it.
That would definitely be my favorite part.
Right.
And then I do miss my brothers because here in America, I'm not with them. They're far away, and I miss that. I miss them around. It's true that when they were there, when we were together, we never. You know, we never really valued that.
Exactly.
But now,
It's only when you're
now it's
far.
like, oh my God. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. David, what do you miss about? I mean, you have your family here, but
Me, what I miss mostly is to visit all the cousins. That was the best part.
really?
Because I was more raised with my cousins, like one of my cousins too. So like we had literally, she's like my biggest sister to be honest. So like meeting up with all the families, you know, and fighting for the food, which was
fighting for
And
the
the food
food.
was free.
you know what I mean? Food free, everything free. The only thing you gotta worry about is your sleep. Because you sleep good. You see what I mean? So that was the most fun. I miss it so much, and I miss the naps. I remember when they used to tell us go to nap. You used to say, I'm a grown up. But right now, that nap.
You are going up to the bed. You are
You
working.
know what
You're
I mean?
thinking of your bed.
Yeah, cause that nap. The way I'm regretting right now. But yeah, that's the first. That's definitely things I miss about myself.
Wow, that's beautiful. Wow, my childhood,
took
what
for
I miss.
granted.
What's that?
Yes.
I know
Things
we
we took
take
for
it for
granted.
granted. Like when you grow up, you just look back. You're like, wow.
Kids, please take your naps.
Yes,
take
please.
those naps.
you will need it when you get old.
I'm just saying, right? That doesn't make sense, but don't worry.
Well, things I miss about my childhood is I mean, just like Grace said, that's togetherness that you guys had. Like especially my dad, like you guys have to pray before you go to school in the morning. Or at night before you sleep, we have to pray. And there was this, say that we usually used to say when you just hear someone say, everybody come, let's pray. We're all running in the living room. You like line up, you have to go pray. So all those little things that we did together, like I really miss it. But since my family are all here, so now we all scattered because we married. Like everybody's in the corner, but sometimes when we gather, we together, we talk about these little things just to remind us about our childhood. And what else do I miss? I wish I grew up closer to my cousins. Yeah, because surtout en Afrique, nous avons des cousins qui ne se parlent pas, les enfants de ces tantes. Même les conflits commencent à partir de nos parents. If our parents don't get along, we don't get along. So I really wish que j'étais vraiment close avec certains de mes cousins, but we couldn't because their parents are not getting along. Like, I'm an innocent child in between. Je n'ai pas le choix. I have to follow my mom or my dad. But I remember my dad was always the person bringing people together in the family. But then some people in the family choose to stay on their corner. So now you look at your cousin. Now I look at my cousin. I see them on Facebook. I see them on Instagram. We don't know each other. And it hurts. Ça fait mal. Parce que tu vois que si sont mes cousins, nous avons les mêmes sons, mais pourquoi on ne parle pas? Parce que nos parents nous ont pas unis. So that's something that I'm really going to talk to African parents. Je veux m'adresser aux parents africains. Ne nous donnez pas vos conflits. OK? Si vous avez des conflits avec vos frères, vos sœurs, ne donnez pas ça à vos enfants. Parce que nous sommes des innocents. We don't know why you guys are fighting. Si tu as un problème avec ton frère, n'aimez pas tes enfants à l'intérieur. Laissez-nous, les enfants, nous parler. Parce que je le regarde sur les réseaux sociaux, je ne sais pas, je vais dire bonjour, mais on partage le même sang. So it's really hurt. I really wish I had that in my childhood, but I didn't. So that's why I'm mostly close to my siblings, the 5 of us. But the others, we just like maybe hi or maybe there's no hi. So that's something to really work on for us, the future generation. Like, I don't want to see me and my sister fighting and our kids not talking. I don't want to see that repeat. So we say no to generational curses.
Amen.
Yeah.
So I was. This question is spicy. So the third question is, how did your parents show love and affection?
Oh. By smacking us.
Great.
Well, I was never smacked. Well, I was smacked once, and I cried like
She's lucky.
she had. It was just a tiny slap. But anyways, how did they show love and affection? There's a difference between my dad and my mom, but combined, I can say they always made sure I lacked nothing. I always had everything that I needed to be the best person that I could ever be. My mom, though, she was more emotionally involved, more affectionate in that way. My dad was more provider. You have everything that you need, but the small talk of like he wasn't really about all that. But yeah, that's how they show love, to make sure I had absolutely everything. Even still today, my dad, he passed. Always making sure
May his soul rest in peace.
Amen. Thank you. Always making sure I lack nothing. I have every resources that I need to be the best person that I could ever be. Amen. So that's how they show their love. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice. Mommy?
Well, I have a very different experience.
All right. That's why we're different.
So, my mom and my dad are totally different. I didn't really grow up with my mom, my birth mom, because they were no longer together with my dad. So I grew up with my dad's family. And my dad had a very special way of showing love. It was mostly through beating.
Oh, God.
Traumatized. And then, I don't know. You just know that he loves you.
Yeah.
Like everything he would do, I would just know that he loves me, even though he didn't know how to show it.
Yes. That's the problem.
There's that. And then, fortunately, even though he did not show me the affectionate part, I had aunties and uncles, mostly, well, all of them, aunties and uncles on my dad's side who really was there for me growing up. Like, I really had that loving and support. Like, I had a support system. So yes, I had love when I have.
Oh, you still have.
Yes.
I feel like it's
Correction. Yes.
it's even more now. Like, it's true that we're so different, we are grown, but I'm just so grateful that even though we live in different countries, some of us are in the same country, everyone is busy, people have kids now, but they still find time for me. And it's amazing. My mom's side, you know, those type of African mothers, they love you. They love you with action.
Yes.
They don't love you with words.
Yeah.
So, in general, I would say my parents did not vocalize and verbalize love.
Yeah.
It was
That's
mostly
the struggle
through
with every African parent. Not, I don't know if it's every, some.
Not every.
Yeah, that's why I say some.
So that's how it was.
Wow. Yes, that's a big problem. That's why I really want us in this generation to be different. It's okay to tell your child, I love you. Because if your child has to hear "I love you" in the street, that's a problem.
Big time.
Yes. So a girl is growing up, she's never heard her dad tell her, "I love you, you are beautiful." And a small boy coming out of nowhere, flattering your daughter, touching her because he said to her, "You are beautiful,
Hey,
and I
trouble.
love you." She's
You're
like,
in
"Oh,
trouble.
wow,
In trouble.
I
What
love
is
you."
that?
What is
Can
that?
somebody send this link to my dad?
Please don't put us in trouble. No. So, like, love and affection is very important. Moi, je comprends. One thing I understand about some African parents, when we talk about the love language, I think most African parents show their love through acts of service. Je prends soin de vous, je vous nourris, je vous achète les habits, I take you out, you ask me something, I give you pocket money. C'est ça l'amour pour certains parents africains. Mais le côté émotionnel, it's really dead. Like, on n'a pas le temps de s'asseoir, parler en famille, s'exprimer. We didn't even have a say growing up. Like, c'est ça que j'ai dit, c'est ça que papa dit, c'est ça que tu fais. Oh papa, tu vois, moi aussi je pense comme ça. Hey, tu vois comme ça. Like, in whose house?
Doesn't make sense.
Non. Donc, on a grandi étouffé avec beaucoup des émotions. But I love my parents because one of the way to show love and affection was, I think it was just act of service, honestly. When my dad started telling me I love you was towards the end of his life on earth. I wish he really did that long time ago. He started feeling comfortable saying I love you. Il y a certains parents africains pour dire je t'aime à ta fille, c'est un problème. C'est comme si it's like a taboo or something. No, I'm your daughter.
Can I add something?
Go ahead.
It's kind of weird.
So, it is weird.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
So this is my personal experience, right? Last year, I was on the phone. I was on video call with my auntie, Dada. We call her Dada, and we were talking about like affection and how our family were traumatized and stuff. And then so I guess I mentioned to her, like, I'm just realizing that my dad never told me that he loved me.
Can you imagine?
And she was so shocked that she added my dad onto the call.
Oh Lord, and forced him to say I love you to you.
No. And so she was like, hi, Aimee. And then she's like, so I'm on the phone. So I was talking to Esther, and Esther told me, and my mister told me that you never told her that you love her. And then my dad was like, "Yo, vraiment, like that's not true." I'm like, hey, do you remember when you did?
No,
And then-
he would say no. They know I love them.
So he tried to say like he does, and that's when I really realized he doesn't even realize that he doesn't say it.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
so on my birthday, he posted me because he never said I love you. Like,
No, they don't have
like
I don't.
He's like I love you.
Nah, dead short.
So it's like a taboo.
It's like a
No,
taboo.
it is.
It's like a big
yeah.
deal.
I really remember the first time I texted my dad. I was like, I love you. And then he's like, I love you too. I was so shocked.
I know, right?
You feel so.
And I went to my brother. I was like, Dad just told me he loves me. But to say to that, my mom always says something. She always says, on ne donne que ce qu'on a.
C'est qu'on a.
Yes.
Exactly.
So the way you have to think about how were they raised.
Yes.
Because in that generation, I don't think my grandfather told
no,
my
I don't
dad,
think my grandma did that. No.
I love you.
I don't think
so. For him to make sure my kids had everything I never had was good enough. My mom was just very good with her words. She
Yes.
tells us she loves us, and she's like very. She knows your teachers and all that. That
Yes.
doesn't no, doesn't know all that. But like I said, on ne donne que ce qu'on a.
Yes.
So like you were saying, I really hope we do better and
do
actually
better.
be
Yeah.
verbalizing not only act of service, but actually
Shall do
tell
better.
them
Yeah.
that we love them.
Yeah, c'est vraiment pour encourager surtout les parents africains. Please tell your children you love them.
Please.
Ma fille, je t'aime.
Ça fait du bien.
Mon fils, je t'aime. Even boys. Quick question, did your dad ever tell you he loves you?
No, we talk. Tell
Let me
Mama, tell
finish.
me.
I know. So my mom is different because she became more expressive. Yeah, I think women, we are very expressive. So it was easy for her to say, even until now, my mom knows I love word of affirmations. When she talks to me, I love you, my baby. I love when I hear that. She's my mom. As much as I grow, I want to hear it from her because losing a parent really affects you. So when you feel like you only have one parent figure, you want to get all the love from them because you're scared. You're living with fear, like, Lord,
constant
fear. Like, look, I want to have her there. I want to have her there. So whatever I didn't get from my dad, I tell my mom, I want to have it from you. Like, please, when you get a chance, tell me you love me. Like, c'est très important. Quand ta fille attend que ma fille, je t'aime, ça fait du bien, chers parents.
Really
Moi, nana yoka qui je t'aime na balabala, il faut dire à vos enfants, c'est très important. So, moi, l'affection et l'amour en famille was really something both parents expressed differently. Papa, c'était les actions, maman, c'était les mots. Et puis maman aussi avait les actions, mais c'était beaucoup les mots, je t'aime, je t'aime. Mais avec mon père, c'était towards the end of his days, and I was like, wow, I only experienced that love last minute. And that what hurts me most when I think about him. I'm like, I wish he did more, but c'était à la
No,
fin.
I can relate to that. Those regrets. I wish I could.
I wish,
yeah, I'm telling you, it's really hard when you lose a parent and you have so many regrets. I wish I could, like right now, I was like, I wish I could just jump on my dad and tell him, you know what, I love you,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it leaves a hole in your heart.
Yeah.
So it's my turn now.
Yes.
See, so the way. I mean, I would definitely say my sister came in clutch when she was born. Hey, she was the promised child.
You became jealous.
You know what I mean? No, I was not jealous. I was very happy. You know what I mean? Because the attention was no more on me now. So basically, I think when my cause I was the first son, so my dad was always hard on me, but my mom always loved me. My mom made sure, you know, because my mom, the way she punished me was just like, think about it, you know, talk to me, blah blah.
Okay.
Hey, my dad was not talking. It was
Those
more about,
ones, they act.
you know, action. So as a firstborn, when I was there, I was like, he doesn't really love me, blah blah blah. But my mom was like, he does love you. But I was like, I don't get it, bro. But when my sister was born, amen. You know, the word works. You know, the Lord. Yeah, He works in His ways. Anyway, so when my sister was born, basically, she was a girl too. So all the attention went to what's it called, to her. And I remember the time where my dad used to discipline me. Then my sister's like, why are you beating him? Just talk to him. And I was like, this girl has nerves, because I can't do that, you know. So at that time, then my dad kind of, when I started growing up, I was like, I was a big kid, so I started growing up sizes. So this point this point where he used to talk to me, which that the first time I used to love. Then I remember there's sometimes he just used to tell me I love you.
Wow.
For me at that time, it was like it didn't click nicely. You know what I mean? But when you start growing up and your dad is like, I love you, son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
when
I
it
was
comes
like,
from your parent, guys,
you know what I mean?
it's different.
So the first time I was like, it didn't click because I was not used to it. But through this time, you're like, he does love me now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now when I grew up to be a man, because right now I'm taller than him, anyways.
Yeah.
Very sorry. Anyway,
Most of us are taller than our parents
You know
now.
what I mean? So when I grew up, basically, you know, he was like a man. Now he's talking to me like, you know, like a basically like a son now. He tells me like right now, like I remember today I left the house. He told me, I love you, son. Have a good day. So now it became like a habit now. So like me hearing from my mom and dad saying I love you is the best feeling ever. Cause when you're a teenager, you're like, it's okay, you know. But when you start growing up and you see how some kids are not showing affection, it's just you're like, thank God I have my parents. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would definitely say my sister came in clutch. Appreciate being born on time, you know. But so it definitely showed me how, you know, like my dad before he never used to talk to me, but now we talk everything. So it was just the most amazing feeling ever, to be honest.
And it also affects your relationship life.
True.
And marriage.
True.
Because if you have a husband who cannot tell you I love you, or cannot give you words of affirmation, you need to question yourself how he grew up.
True.
If he grew up in a house where he never heard that, my sister, don't expect him to tell you that unless he's willing to learn something different and be different from the household you came out from. Because we are the result of a household. Nous sommes les résultats d'une maison. Là où on a grandi, c'est ce que nous allons apporter dans les mariages, dans la société, partout là où nous sommes. So I grew up, my dad used to tell me, you're beautiful. He was calling me Beyonce Nanga. Like my Beyonce. You know Beyonce was beautiful that time. Yeah. So for me, it was like, yo, my dad. Like, that's what I had in mind. So every time I was in a relationship and a guy doesn't tell me you're beautiful, I go crazy.
It's not
I'm like, something is missing here. You like, so I was expecting that parce que that's what I was getting at home. So when I see my husband, I have to show him love and affection. Like in the morning when we wake up, Papa bonjour, I have to greet my husband. When we eat, Papa merci. Like, and then when I saw him now doing that, I'm like, and then sometimes I just help myself. I'm like, remember, you grew up in a different household, so don't expect him to do what you guys did growing up. Alors j'insiste les parents, formez vos enfants, formez des bons maris et des bonnes femmes à l'âge, okay, at a young age. Parce que ce que vous donnez à vos enfants, c'est ce qu'ils vont amener dans leur maison et donner à leurs futurs enfants aussi. Donc, that's what I wanted to add.
something small?
Yeah.
As much as I agree with what you just said, very important, I also disagree a little bit because not all the time do we bring what we grew up with out in the community or in marriage.
Sometimes.
Most
Yeah.
of the times,
Yeah.
yes, but there are exceptions. And one of the exceptions is actually knowing and having a relationship with God. Because me personally, if we were to talk about like the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Then I would be how do you say this?
Catholic?
No. In French.
Catastrophe.
Donc ça, it would have been
MS.
a catastrophe,
Yeah,
right?
catastrophic.
Because so far, it's crazy. Yeah.
She said it's crazy.
It's so sad. It's so sad. If I have to bring what I was taught or what I grew up with, the kind of love that I grew up with, if I were to bring it in marriage and like
It's a
show it to my
So
kids.
you can still choose to be different from the type of household you grew up in. True. Because if I saw my mom, for example, my dad beating my mom, I'm not gonna bring that in my house. So it's my choice to either, because some of the things happen subconsciously. You need to understand we have three dimensions where we function.
Yes.
Subconsciously, you don't want to do it, but parce que écoute tellement, you start doing things like, oh my God, parce que j'ai vu ça quelque part. Mais ça dépend de nous, comme tu as dit, avec la grâce de Dieu, dans la vie des prières. We need healing. We need to heal from our childhood traumas, from all this past, because I don't want to repeat some of the things I saw at home. No.
You know, I attended a seminar and they asked this one specific question.
Right.
They're like, how is your heart?
Ooh, just deep.
If you close your eyes, what does it look like?
Jesus.
Is it a hole? Is it like
Some people can
is
never
it
close their
full?
You want me to answer that?
Is it no? I'm just,
You want me to answer that?
no, it's just something to like. It's just really something to.
That's deep.
That's what the thing that you were saying about the things that we go through,
Yeah.
and how amazing it is to be in God, because He can heal those.
Vraiment.
When I fully tried to dedicate my life to God, even though I was still one thing, it was a emptiness that the loss of my father
Yes.
left in me. And as we pray and I got I got closer to my father, that hole disappeared.
Yes.
So like you said, and
Takes
then the way
time.
you said healing is very important.
Very important.
So people, how is your heart looking?
Please.
Only God can
Double check.
restore
Yes.
that heart.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, me, definitely. I'll say the same thing too. So the thing I do appreciate right now about my parents is, most African houses you don't really see your dad and mom kissing.
Oh Lord.
You know what I mean? So me.
The next thing, my mom is pregnant
So-
about
so-
with the last
no,
born.
like a bisou, but like a moi. So
Yeah.
it's never happening.
So I saw
So
that my
for
mom
me-
and dad did that.
People are getting triggered here. So for me, what's it called? So for me, I was used to that. I saw my mom, my dad kissing, that.
You
So for me, it was like. Then when hearing story, I was like, so you telling me your mom and your dad don't even bisou? It's like, I'm like, you guys live
No, because
weird. You know what
les
I mean?
parents
So,
africains sont
yeah.
comme ça. They like,
True,
those
true.
are things kids should not see. When you're sitting in the living room, you're watching someone kissing, they turn off the TV, go somewhere in the bedroom. I remember those days.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, your house
You
always-
really? Where did you My dad would turn off the TV
No.
or change the channel, David.
I remember.
We were not allowed to watch
Oh
people kissing
my
on
God.
TV.
I remember it so specifically. Like a scene will come. If you have your phone, you're just like,
Yes. Start pretending.
Nah, me, I was looking, I was like,
it's
Mom,
the most awkward
You're
thing.
gonna feel uncomfortable, especially if you're a girl, your dad is there, like, just get out.
No. I
No.
I do remember. the
Stephanie,
first
you
time.
won't even get out because you will feel like if you stand, everybody's gonna look
You're
at
gonna
you.
know. So
Why
you
you
have to
standing?
act like
Yeah, you didn't
Why
act
you
like
standing?
you didn't see that.
you
like,
didn't see to begin
oh,
with.
I think the
Oh
réseau
my
parti or something.
No, I
You
I,
start
I,
feeling very awkward.
No,
I never liked that moment of my childhood.
so like for me, I remember the first time we were watching a movie with my dad, mama, everyone. Then I remember the first time I saw people kissing. For me, I was like, okay. Then my dad was like, "You do that when you're married." So I was like,
Definitely.
that's
At
good.
least
So
he
I was
said
like, yeah.
something.
But the thing is, when the movie was taking too long, I was like,
No, it's
Yeah.
no, exactly.
And especially that scene.
It's the awkward silence.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
And the side eye with your sibling, like,
Guys,
telling
if you were a parent, what would you do? Put yourself in your parents' shoes.
No, but I definitely tell them, "Look, see, it looks very nice, very appealing. But listen,
You tell that to your kid.
Yeah, you have to.
Whoa.
Listen, I'm raising my kids a little bit different.
That's the next question. Actually, let's go to the next question. Will you raise your kids the same way you were raised?
the providing part, yes.
Okay.
The way my mom was emotionally involved, yes. And I feel like one thing I want to add is be more open and honest
Yes.
as the why behind the reason I'm telling you not to do something. You know, like actions have consequences. They just told us not to do the action without really truly knowing the consequences of those actions. So, you know, le fruit interdit looks more appealing. The thing they tell you not to do is the
Yes.
same thing you exactly want to do. So, you know, explaining the consequences of the actions, it's that's something I really want to do, you know.
Okay. So was that a yes or 50-50?
There is there's some good things, you
good
know.
things, yeah.
There's some goodness because like the person that I am today,
Yes.
the values that I have, my way of respecting, my way of being with other people, that came from that. So it's not all bad. So it's more like, what did I wish would happen to me, and I'm trying to like give it to my children. Yeah.
Mommy, would you raise your children and not
Same
tell
way.
them you love them?
That's slap, eh?
Stephanie, thank you very much for the question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I'm gonna be very honest with myself.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be very honest with
Public.
the public.
Yeah.
Definitely not all the way.
Wow.
Because I know how I grew up.
Yeah.
And my childhood personally, especially given the fact that I was the oldest, I would definitely not want to live that again. And it was very hard, very, very hard. So I definitely wouldn't do the same with my kids in any way. I think it's really important what we teach children dès le bas âge.
Voila.
Because that's what makes children.
Yes.
And I want to give an example. I'm sure you know this example. my prophet and his wife, like they had the kids are growing here, like they're growing up in America. But when you look at the kids, you're like, hey God, give me this, give me this.
The work that goes behind that.
Like,
Only Mama Sarah knows.
so as much as I love my parents, I do not agree on the way they raised me.
Okay.
And if I am the way I am today, I'm not gonna say I'm the way I am. I'm like this thanks to them, thanks to all the things I've been through. Like, we can agree that there's some things that we go through in life that strengthen us, that make us who we are. But with me, it's not the case. If I'm like this, if I'm the way I am, it's only thanks to God.
Wow.
Like, I'm not gonna add anything.
Not even
I'm not
10%
gonna,
of mom and dad.
it is thanks to God.
Wow. Okay.
Hallelujah, man.
So, yeah, I need to do better. Like, I have a lot of examples that I can follow, and change, follow and fix.
Yeah.
So I need to. There's a lot of fixing that I need to do.
So mostly you can do some values, but you gotta change the mentality behind it.
Even the values.
On the values.
Even the values, because so I'm grateful because of there's values. Yes, I was raised very well. I was taught how to respect people, how to fear people, respect mostly people. I grew up in a Christian family, in a Catholic family, even though in my father's household we didn't have that structure, that the praying structure. It was like, yeah, people go to church Sunday. If you don't want to go, you don't have to. Like, nobody's gonna hold you you know.
Lucky.
But
I know. you don't even have a choice.
but the extra values were there. So the things that I would like keep is the cooking part.
Oh.
Woo, you know,
At least.
you know that I'll keep like.
You have to teach
It was
kids how to
like
cook,
I felt like it was like a punishment growing up. What do I have? Do I have to?
Yes.
But at the end, you know, look at me today.
Amen.
So there was a little bit of here and there.
Here and there.
But like in general, I'll take maybe a good 25%.
Right, at least. You wouldn't take 0%. I'll be shocked.
a good
And I'll call you.
25%.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
You were said something and then it just popped something in my mind. Something I want to change is the way they raise girls versus boys.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
My
Because-
boys.
Non, les parents vraiment, ce n'est pas gentil.
C'est pas gentil.
Ce n'est pas
The
juste.
pressure on girls and de
yeah.
laisser aller des garçons, and then you wonder why boys will be boys.
Voilà.
What? No.
Pour ça, nous avons des
No.
maris aujourd'hui
Oh,
bizarres.
so
Et les
help me-
femmes sont trop...
No.
On est strict avec les
No,
femmes
like
en
the
Afrique.
yeah,
par rapport aux hommes.
vraiment,
So-
like
so-
it's crazy. It's
Does-
the
we
expectation.
don't have trauma as boys?
We were
No,
all-
that's not
we
what
were
I'm
older,
saying.
David. We were older at home, but my dad was very like light with the boys, and he was tough on us, the girls. My brothers could go out and then ask we to come back at a certain time. I was like, that's my little brother, but he's a boy. Yeah.
No, they let them get away with so much, but for a girl, not.
I
But
mean-
the thing, my problem is, it plays on your adult life.
Voilà.
Because you still think like you could get away with, oh, I'm a boy, you know, that's a man.
Voilà.
That's just what we what?
C'est ça. A man is a man. Excuse me.
No.
I feel like a lot of men growing up, especially African, they did not grow up with structure. They've like yes.
I don't know where you.
The reason why I'm saying structure.
She didn't say
me
all
finish.
of them.
Let me finish because a lot of men grow up with that laissez aller, that mentality of I can do this and get away with this. I don't have to do the dishes. I don't have to cook. I don't have to this
boys
and that.
will cook.
I don't know.
Most African
This one
men,
cooks good.
most
Good job to
African
your parents.
like your fufu today.
Oh, your
on
fufu
point.
today, ladies. This one is different.
But you know, like in general, I know there's some good men out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful. He's
We
watching.
know. But most of them, like a good bunch of men, have grow up with a very poor mentality. That even when they come, like they go to other countries, like when
They feel entitled.
Yeah.
Yes.
Toi, tu es une fille.
You need to
Tu,
do
tu,
this.
tu
I
sais
don't
faire
have
ça.
to do
Tu
that.
peux pas faire ça.
It's very common in our society.
Oh my god.
But me, I was definitely raised different. I was mostly So I remember the first time because I was basically. I was
So
in-
remember things that if you're raising your kids. That's the question.
Let me talk about first.
Yes.
Anyways, I'll definitely take almost 90%.
90%.
90%.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's
The,
good.
Nice.
the 10% are the slaps I got.
Yeah.
Definitely taking out those away. So definitely like the disciplined way I want to raise my kids is let's talk. You know what I mean? Let's talk like real people, so they can have that mentality of just like solving a problem instead of like you punish them no reason. You know what I mean? There's no explanation. So definitely take that. But all the values right now as a grown up, saying like I love you to my kids, I'll definitely want to do that.
Yes.
Kissing my wife, please, love kisses because I'll
Yeah,
definitely.
these
do
kids are
kisses.
watching.
So I'll definitely do that to love their mom to see how love is.
Oh, that's
You know what I mean? So I'll definitely want to do
Maybe
that.
there's
as-
kissing and kissing.
Both. Why not?
Please, kids are there watching.
Okay. No, not kissing. Of
There's
course.
a limit.
No, of course, 100%. There's a
Voila.
limit. Of course. There's. Anyways, but my kids have to know about it. You know what I mean? Like, I do love your
You're not
mother.
gonna practice at school.
I hope not. It's like I'll be like my dad. This is only for you not married. When you have that ring, you can't even kiss even the toes. No problem. But when you have that ring, when you don't have it, then relax. You know. So I'll definitely take almost 100%, 90% or what. So because I was taught with the good values basically. Because when you grow up, you understand what your parents try to do. But I'll definitely take what my mom always used to want to talk to me. For me, I was like, you don't want to be like dad, because dad was just like, boom, you know what I mean. But when my stuff came through, that's what I'm saying. When I appreciate my stuff coming through, The Lord knows those. So like, so my dad was like kind of more kind of
Because
So
the girl is there.
yeah, the girls there. But what about you guys talking about how men were structured? Even me, my dad didn't even care how tall I was, whatever. Be home at this time, period. There's no explanation. Or who, whatever. You know what I mean? So even the dishes. I'm like, so a man, so what? Those dishes
Yeah.
have no gender, you know. Those dishes gotta be washed. You gotta do them. Even cooking, because for me, I grew up when my dad was traveling a lot. So when my dad now like moved to the same country we are in, then he started cooking. I was surprised. Oh, this man can cook. You know what I mean? I was like, you can cook? He's like, yes. Because he told me cooking is only meant for women.
Exactly.
So you gotta know how to cook. So from that age, I just got interested in cooking. So now I know how to cook. It's good quality.
And you learned how to make that fine fufu.
That's
Yeah, come on now.
Very fine.
I would say I feel more pressure because I'm a pastor's wife, and pastor's children. People people have very high expectations on them. But I thank God for my foundations. They're pretty solid.
But don't people say that all the demons that your father
Apparently,
chases away-
but I see some
is
pastor's
true
children
though.
they're doing good.
I ain't
So
gonna lie.
you see the pressure I feel, to raise my kids, but I'm not gonna rely on myself. I'm gonna rely on God to raise those children.
Yes.
The same way my parent plant a seed in me that is growing now, I believe that will do the same for my children. And my husband he's an amazing man. Thank God for his parents. And I think he can put the same values, in his children. The things that I would not repeat from my household, I don't know it because I love how my dad structured everything. Prayer was number one. I watched my father clean, cook, and do everything. He was that man. And the wrong thing I did was take the same expectation to my husband. That was a big problem because he's not my dad, Maybe he grew up differently. He had sisters, they're doing things, but he does do the cleaning here and there. But my dad constantly did it. He made breakfast for us in the morning. For a Muluba guy, pour ceux qui connaissent des Muluba au Congo, they are not easy.
Can't relate.
So he was the best. He was the best example of a man in my life. And me thinking I would get married to the same exact man was
not
wrong,
happening.
was a problem.
not
And that was already an issue in the beginning of my marriage because I wanted him to be like my dad. But no, he's not my dad. So I had to live at his standard, the way he grew up. So when I look at him, I automatically say, oh, this is maybe how he was brought up. So I don't have to put this on him. So seeing my brothers clean, cook, do dishes, my dad had to force him. If you don't do it, he will slap you. You're not going to breathe. But one thing I don't want to take is the slap because my dad was very good at beating us up.
He was talented.
I do not.
We call them
I remember
talented.
one day he did that. I bleed in my eyes. I was bleeding. So he was a big guy, very tough guy, very big man. So he had big, huge hands. When he slaps you, you're going to sleep or pee. I remember my brothers. My brothers, every time my dad slept, that they would either pee or themselves.
I can relate.
Exactly.
No,
That's something I never want to repeat. I really want to
You know what's
correct.
You know what's funny?
Maybe.
They can't relate.
No,
I
guys.
cannot.
This
That's
is
real.
fake.
Because literally,
But the thing is, we still loved him. I don't even know how we loved that.
parents. No, when I hear you,
You know how
it's
many
crazy.
times I packed my bags?
Where
you going?
From home.
But you
When I
realize,
get to the door,
where am I going?
Where you going?
Until send me back here.
Oh no, it's crazy how different it is. Because
Right.
my mom wanted us to learn all of these things, the cooking and all that. My dad was very different. Like I remember I made a mess and then my mom's like, okay, clean it now. Don't call anybody, clean it. I'm getting ready to mop it and everything. My dad sees me, he's like, what are you doing? And my mom's telling me to clean. He's like, hey, I pay people for that. Get up.
God,
Go get them. I was like, no problem.
Daddy said.
Daddy, my mom hated that. So she really saw us as people incapable of surviving in the world.
Wow.
Because my dad, he wanted us to, be taken care of, relax. I'll go to work, I pay, relax. My mom was opposite. I was like, if I put you guys in the world,
I don't know how you're gonna.
world
If I
will
send you
eat you.
overseas, how are you gonna? And then this is one thing because when my sister and I moved to America, we were alone, and we were able to survive because we were trained like soldiers at home. But dear African parent, take it easy. I know it's
Talk
gonna
to
be very
kids.
controversial.
More
Frapper
talking,
les
man.
enfants, insulter les enfants. Oh my God, insulting. wow, I love my dad as much as I love him. Like, le seul injure que je me souviens, c'est imbécile. You know, that was his favorite. He never said anything else beside that. So every time, it's stuck in my mind. C'est resté dans ma tête.
I think we should keep this for the next question.
No, this is something I want to avoid.
Yes, but
Yeah.
there's a question that
No, attends, je vais terminer cette partie. Because I want African
is there.
parents to stop insulting children. Et éviter d'insulter vos enfants. Because they go to school, they insult them. They go on the street, they tease them. And I come back home, you insulting me again. Where do I go?
My safe space.
So home should be a safe space for your children. La maison doit être un refuge où les enfants viennent, ils sont à l'aise. Oui, je sais que vous allez gronder, frapper, mais please, avec beaucoup de modération. Évitez d'insulter. Nous sommes des chrétiens. Notre bouche doit rester clean. I can't remember the last time I insulted. Like, honestly, God has been helping me. God has been working in me. Le Saint-Esprit est très puissant. Il peut t'aider à fermer ta bouche pour insulter. Tu peux te fâcher, mais pour que l'injure, the insult come out of my mouth, it's not easy anymore.
Les choix des mots, les
Yes.
mots que vous utilisez, ça
important.
touche. Moi aussi, je me rappelle, my dad told me something, and up to now, I can hear it sometimes.
traumatized.
I can hear that voice. So, like, yeah, what she said, very careful with the words that you use to speak on your children, because
Yeah.
ça fait mal au cœur et
Ça fait mal, ça
reste,
blesse.
ça
Surtout-
reste à
Surtout si
l'intérieur.
c'est papa et maman. Il m'a
Ça
insulté.
reste à l'intérieur.
Non, ça fait mal.
True. So next question.
The mindset.
Okay. So what is an African mindset that needs to change?
What is an African
Mommy.
mindset?
What is an African mindset that needs to change? Boys are boys, girls are girls.
There's so many.
Yeah, pick one.
Be brief. Eh?
Briefly.
I think I'm gonna knock on this auntie uncle mindset thingies.
Okay.
Where family members feel so entitled. Like uncles and aunties feel like you owe them so much. Especially the money thing.
Okay.
Like
if you're
when-
overseas.
Yes.
Okay.
Like we have this special tree. There's special trees every 5 kilometers where you just go, you move the tree and then money starts falling down, and then you pick up the money and you begin to look at your phone. I think today I'm gonna send this one 5,000, and then I'm gonna send
Jesus.
like
If you send 100, just $100.
that. That's really
Sans seulement.
Ça seulement.
atayomoko.
$100 caca.
You know, there's that, and then there's, I don't know, I think I just have a big problem with uncles and aunties that think they can just come to your house, or they can just act however.
So what do you tell the aunties and uncles watching?
Aunties and uncles?
To their nieces.
Boundaries.
Yes, boundaries.
Who are you addressing? The uncles or the nieces and nephews?
The uncles, first of all, uncles, we need to learn how to respect ourselves, you know. Like, I'm your niece, I'm not your
sister.
not even sister, I'm not your wife, I'm not your girlfriend. Like, hey. And aunties,
You are my daughter.
aunties always talking about other people's children, but you look at your children, nothing to say. NAS. So
That's a mental.
That's the mentality you want to change.
there's that, there's the money thing, and there's the asking thing. Let's stop asking.
Guys, stop asking mommy for money.
Not only money. We're so comfortable.
Asking question about
the African,
marriage,
yes,
things
like
that.
African community. We are so comfortable getting into each other's businesses as if we owe each other information. Like, hey, let's stop that, please, and thank you.
All right, Grace.
Okay, me, what I want to say is to the elders, the uncles that you said, everybody that is older than me. That mentality of te dire la vérité n'est pas un manque de respect.
Ooh.
Just because I'm telling you the truth doesn't mean I'm disrespecting you. Just because you're older does not mean you're always right. You cannot always be right.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And you can also, as much as I learn from you,
Yeah.
you can learn from me. It's
They
not,
think
it's
they
not
can never learn from
disrespect.
you.
It's
There's
not
a-
disrespect.
There's a thing,
Too
I don't know how it would be translated in or interpreted in another language. But there's this saying that says mwana mke abeta kambunda mikolo babinaka.
Oh, I mean, it's like a young person can hit what is tam tam drum. It can play a drum, and elders can dance as well.
True.
So if I know how to play
Pretty
drum,
much,
you
yes.
just come and dance.
Exactly. It's not. I'm not disrespecting you because I'm disagreeing with what you're
Voila.
saying.
Yeah.
You know, we know there's a lot of things. Like
Yeah.
knowledge is very broad. You don't know everything on everything. You know. Let's say I'm a biology major and I work in the medical field. I might know a lot more in the medical field than you, who's in engineering or administration.
Voila.
And just because I'm vocalizing it, does not mean I'm disrespecting you, papa or mama. C'est juste
And
que
as you grow, you also learn how to set boundaries.
Yeah,
Tu ne
c'est juste
permets
que
plus ces mountains.
you are wrong. That's it. Period.
Ouf.
That is
Wow,
true.
David.
My mindset is definitely, well, I don't know about the money part, but that's one thing I love about my family. So like I have aunties, uncles. No one has really, bothered me. It's always the friends. For me, it's always the friends that you didn't even talk to them much. You know what I mean? But definitely, I'm lucky on the part where the thing I love about my family is we respect each other a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I've never seen my auntie, uncles having a what's it called? Having like people fighting, whatever. Never seen that. So the mentality I want to change definitely is the dads. Please love your kids. You know what I mean? Because more, I
Love
know.
the both girls and boys.
Yes, please love your kids. Because I know grown-ups who still fear their dad. I'm like, it's your dad. You know what I mean? Talk to him, because the way I talk to my dad and the way I talk, because I know there's an uncle I talk to, and the way the kids talk to him, it's always funny, because I talk to him like a normal person, but him, yes, dad, I'm like, yo, you got more to talk to, get close to your dad. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to have the men, the dads, the uncles. Come be loose now, you know what I mean? Talk to your kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know you can provide, which is the best thing ever. But please, talk to your kids.
Because kids are learning in the street, on YouTube, and you
100%.
guys are there as their parent, uncle. You
that
can't even
job.
give them that. You can't even have a straight, honest conversation with them.
No, they
Uncles.
can't come because they're afraid they're gonna be punished if I tell you exactly
ça,
what
j'ai
I'm
peur.
feeling
Right.
or what I'm going through. Then why would I come and tell you?
They don't feel safe at home, so they have more friends. They spend more time on their phone because mom and dad will hit me. They won't listen to me. They won't validate my feelings. Like, surtout when you come to America, I think parents need to adjust. I'm not saying give your children freedom, but learn how to raise them in this environment. Because in Africa, we're very strict. But when you come here, kids are running away from parents. They go to social workers than parents. You're living with a kid at home. You don't know what they're doing outside. How is he gonna come to you?
Never.
So my mom can kill me. No, I don't want. That's all we know. So please, parents, open up. Open up to your children. What was the question again?
What's the African mentality?
The African mentality. La mentalité, I'm not saying French. La mentalité africaine qui doit changer. Moi, si y'a bongi na cuisine, mon bali y'a bongi na misala. Moi, si y'a bongi na ma classe belete. A woman should not study a lot because she's gonna end up
That's
being
a
a wife.
mentality?
That's a mentality.
They don't like girls that are too smart.
Yes, they don't like girls who are too smart. Moi, si soit tangué belé, mon balai vite à caer. D'abord, un homme ne peut pas être intimidé par une femme qui a étudié. Un homme ne peut, a man who's educated himself ne peut pas être intimidé par une femme qui est éduquée parce qu'elle a beaucoup de degrees. Non. You need to know how to handle her, honestly. Donc, tu vas commencer à fuir, sortir avec des femmes qui sont moins intelligentes parce que tu as perdu une femme qui est bien éduquée. Non. Encouragez vos filles à aller à l'école. Le mariage n'est pas une finalité. Marriage is not the end of your life. Someone say marriage is just one chapter in a book. Donc, tu as un livre qui a beaucoup de chapitres et le mariage, c'est l'un des chapitres. Alors, n'entraînez pas vos filles seulement à se marier un jour. Maman, ta fille peut être CEO d'une compagnie. Ta fille peut être un ministre, président. Alors, changeons cette mentalité africaine. Quand tu vois ta fille, tu es belle, tu es intelligente. Tu peux être une gérante d'une société. Et ça, c'est yo, ça, moi, célibat, là. Tu es mariée, épousée. Okay, mom, I know, but, that was my dad's mentality. And my mom a compris que j'étais genre books. And then she started pushing me into studying because I didn't want her to have that conversation of marriage with me. I didn't like, Mama, please, I don't, marriage will come. I want to study. And she saw that I was into books. She's like, okay, vas-y, étudie et tous ces trucs-là. So, changeons un peu cette mentalité. Et puis, la mentalité qui est mise à la basi. Non, le travail de la maison, c'est pas pour les femmes. Taking care of the house is not for a woman. It's for everyone. Si tu es propre, tu prends soin de la maison. Que tu sois un homme ou une femme, je ne sais pas cette mentalité qui en Afrique, on a collé les tâches ménagères à la femme. I don't know. Mais je pense que tout le monde peut aider. Je sais que les hommes ne sont pas comme ça. They're not like that naturally. They can help here and there, but us, it's the nurturing side of us. On se lève les matins, je sais que je dois clean, je dois faire ça. Mais pour un homme, c'est je me lève les matins, je vais chercher l'argent, je vais nourrir la famille. C'est comme ça. Mais si on commence à élever nos petits garçons déjà maintenant, va laver les assiettes, va balayer, do this, do that, it's going to help them in the future. So, dear parent African, c'est vraiment ce que je voulais partager avec vous parce que c'est une mentalité qui doit tomber. Sinon, you are raising bad husbands. You are raising bad women parce que vous êtes trop dur avec les filles et les garçons sont là, loose. Vous avez des garçons, on ne prépare pas les garçons au mariage. This is one thing. You don't prepare your boys for marriage. But you're so hard on women that la femme doit faire ça. Et les hommes, chers parents, prenez soin de vos garçons au bas âge et encouragez vos filles à étudier. Nous voulons avoir de femmes intellectuelles, pas seulement trop belles qui savent préparer. Non, we want intellectual women who can educate. Parce que c'est que moi, aujourd'hui, je veux donner à mes enfants. Et si ma tête est vide, je ne sais pas ce que je vais donner à ces enfants.
You know, mentioning the marriage part, I was always wondering, why is there a bridal shower but not a groom shower?
No.
Why don't they have men
I'm just
gathering
saying.
around? Because in a bridal shower,
They
they
actually do.
they do.
But what
Some
they
of
do
them
is,
are doing. I had to
No,
push
no,
my
no.
husband to do it.
There's people that do it, but what they do is
They go
they
drink.
get together, they go drink, or
Yeah.
they go to the club or something like that.
Yeah. Tu vois, parce que quoi? That's how they grow up. Les hommes, men are like, why would
Oh,
you go
your
to a
last day
nightclub?
of freedom.
Your last day of freedom.
Yeah, that's a
not
mentality,
true.
to be honest.
Exact.
Yeah,
That's the
that
mentality
is
that
the
needs to fall.
mentality.
Alors, de la même façon, on a les bridal shower et les showers pour les hommes.
I want to add something on what you said because it's very important.
Go ahead.
There's two more things that I want to add on top of what you just
Sure.
said. That in the African community we find normal, the domestic abuse thing, where
Si on te
taper
frappe,
la femme c'est normal.
that's another topic
Like,
for another
the
day.
way we
Domestic
normalize,
violence.
yes, the way we normalize it needs to stop. Like tu peux aller chez tes parents, you call it
Parents.
les parents de mariage, and then they're gonna be giving you advice like, oh, yomoro yebi, ce sont des choses qu'il faut pas emmener dehors. Like, really?
So they say it's like normal thing.
Yeah, it's like it's not a big deal.
that's
Just
your
talk to him,
My
talk
sister, you
about
gonna
it,
be-
figure
you
it
gonna be
out.
swearing around. That's not normal.
You see Osinachi, the woman who died, because she was quiet about it.
Wow.
Yeah, they want to say,
Scary.
you are the living God. Oh.
The
She was
singer?
abused. Yeah, she was being beaten by her husband, but she, first of all, I'm sure she was afraid of her career that will crash. She didn't know who to talk to. Apparently, she spoke to some pastors. They didn't say anything about it. But that's another topic for another day: domestic violence.
and then the
But
second
we should not
thing is,
encourage that.
the second thing is the way, so who teaches what in marriage, right? So the father's role is providing, and then the mother's role is educating. I don't think that's right. I think the education needs to come from both sides.
yes.
Where, because most of us, what I've noticed, even though you and I have grew up so differently, the thing in common is we both fear our fathers.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
there's
je-
this thing of fearing fathers. Why? Like, first of all, not only do they not know how to show love, but they put fear in there.
Chill.
They put
Yeah.
fear in there. So we love them, but we mostly fear them, especially the fathers.
Oh,
You know,
who's
there's
not scared of
barely,
their father?
not a lot of people, like in an African home, not a lot of people have an actual relationship with Papa.
Voilà, parce qu'ils sont des autorités, they're authority figures. Like, tu ne peux pas avoir cette relation parce que, obviously, tu dois avoir peur d'un de tes parents. You cannot be
I
too
don't
friendly.
think you need to. I don't think you need to fear them.
I don't know if I should say fear,
have
but
respect.
you have to respect.
Yes, but
Yeah.
fear.
Non, fear dans le sens que tu sais que si je fais du mal, il y a quelque chose qui va arriver. Mais quand tu sais que je suis cool avec
No, I
mes
feel like
parents,
this fear.
how are you gonna...
No, African parents have a. I don't know how they did it, but we fear them.
Yes.
The beating. I think it's the
I
beating.
know, I,
Même la voix,
I was not
l'autorité, les
I was
tons de
not
la
beaten, but I feared my
Yes.
parents. You think about if I do this,
I'm
Intimidation.
dead.
so like
L'intimidation.
like my dad didn't say, Grace, fear me. No,
Non, il va pas te
Just-
dire ça.
So
His way.
the way
His
he
way
was.
carries himself.
I knew there's some stuff I cannot come to you and tell you. You are a
Voilà.
busy man. You are providing my little emotions. Why? Where's mama? Mama,
And
let
you
me
know,
tell you,
the
I'm
crazy, the
feeling.
craziest thing, like, I'm sure most of us have had this experience. You can be at a party, you can be in front of a
Your
full-
mind is not there.
No.
Your mind is
They
at
don't.
home.
They don't have to tell you, hey, yo, hey, stop. They just look at you.
It's click.
Yeah,
It's
and you
the,
like-
the eye contact.
Or even they can even let you go to a party and they give you a time. You know, you're not even enjoying the party, but you're already thinking of how I'm going back home.
I'm telling you.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
What
I
they're gonna
don't know.
do to you.
One day
I
my
gonna
dad
live or
locked
am I
us
dying?
outside of the house because we were 10 minutes late. Guys, this deserves a second part. We have so much trauma as African, but you know,
Truly
this
deserve
is
a
a
second
really good
part.
space for us to do that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for staying tuned. And we really hope you're going to share the link with your friends and family and send us topics if you have any suggestions. Make sure you follow us on all our pages, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everywhere.
We will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Oh my God, guys, that day my mom was
Are
crying.
we off? Offline?